Hey guys, it's Joanne. So the purpose of today's video is to tell you about how I prepared for my boards. I get this question asked at least, I don't know, 5 to 10 times a week, and I figured it'd be easier to just make a video so you can watch of how I did it. Doesn't mean my way is the right way, but this is how I prepare, and this is how I pass on the first try. Okay, so let me tell you this. So about 6 months before I graduated, I purchased the Fitzgerald online review. I personally study better when I can watch videos, pause them, and do it on my own time. So I bought the Fitzgerald review, which is about 33 hours of videos by her. She also mails you this wonderful notebook, which I really, really do like. It's really detailed, a little much for the boards, but great for practice. Really, I mean, I really do like it. Even like the vaccine schedules are in here. It's just pretty nice. Okay, but in addition to this notebook, she also tells you that to be successful, you have to do all the additional stuff she has that she doesn't put in a notebook, and that comes with the videos too. Which after I printed it actually turned out to be even bigger than the notebook, which I found a little annoying. I wish she just mailed 2 notebooks versus me needing to do all this. Her videos were a little intense, but they're good, detailed, a little slow for me sometimes. But you know, it did help me. It did prepare me. Wish that you have, for her review, you have 6 tries to watch every video. I knew that I'm only going to watch it once, so that's why I took really good notes in this notebook, because realistically I would never go back and watch 33 more hours of videos. So I watched it once, did her practice exams, questions in the book and online, and moved on with life. Wished you can't skip. You have to go in order, which was super annoying, because there's days I didn't want to listen about cardiac. I wanted to listen about something else, and I was just forced to go off of her schedule, which that's not how I roll. So that's what I did 6 months ahead. My last semester of school came around, did my thing, graduated, finished everything, decided that I'm going to take a month off because I've had enough of school for 3 years, spend some time with my family, schedule my exam during that time. And once I had that date set from 6 weeks from the time I scheduled it, that's when the real studying really began. So what I did is I printed myself a little calendar from your computer or whatever, a Word document, and I took the Fitzgerald book, I opened it to her table of contents, and I literally copied every chapter on here. So I would do, cardiac and endocrine and headaches, and I put it on here. So every day I would try to hit up 1 to 2 different systems. Sometimes it took me a couple of days to go through a system, like cardiac is intense, right? So I did that. And then after writing that on there, I would supplement it with the leak. So I had only 2 resources I used for my clinical studying, okay? So I would go and review everything in Fitzgerald on diabetes or endocrine, and then I would go and leak and read those chapters. This book is super easy. I would mark in it too. I like to mark things. It's really easy, and it really helped to have 2 different points of view. After I did, let's say, cardiac in Fitzgerald and then leak, and by the way, this is the older version. Now there's a third version available, which I would recommend over this one. I would practice questions. So when I finished cardiac, I would only practice cardiac questions, and I used the Leak app. I used FNP Mastery, and I used Board Vitals. I did 3 different kinds of practice question apps because I wanted, no one really knows how the exam questions are. So I wanted to be prepared to be exposed to a variety type of questions, because in reality, the exam will have some really super easy questions, like a one-liner where you're like, what the heck, really, that's it? And then they'll have a little bit more complicated. So it just worked for me. So then I would go through, all those cardiac questions and all those apps, and Board Vitals is just online. And if I still didn't understand something, then I would write it out, look it up, just that I understood the concept, okay? It's more than just memorizing things. You have to understand the concept. Board Vitals was awesome because the rationales are so detailed. So whatever I didn't get from Leak or Fitzgerald, Board Vitals gave to me. But it's much, much harder than the exam, so don't get discouraged, okay? So then again, next day I would move on to a different system till I got through it with 6 weeks. And nothing mattered to me in that 6 weeks. I didn't have a social life. I didn't cook. I didn't do laundry. I just studied several hours a day, and every single free time, ordered pizza for my family and have way too much coffee and just go at it, okay? No matter how tired I was. So after I got through all my clinical stuff and all the questions, the last week before my boards, I started the non-clinical. I left that part for the last because it's boring. Non-clinical is more boring. It's a lot of memorization, and I hated it. So what I did for that part is I just went back in Leak. Not this one. My app was the 3rd edition, which is better for the non-clinical part. It's more updated. So I used that app, and I read through all that. And then I went back to Fitzgerald and went through all her non-clinical stuff and kind of made a study guide based off that. And in addition, my girlfriend borrowed me these books, which I guess they're really expensive. They're by the ANA. I only used these for the first 2 or 3 chapters, which were non-clinical. I didn't do it from the clinical because I just didn't have that much time, and I didn't want to overwhelm myself with too many resources. There's some good stuff in here, but I had to read it twice to really understand it because it's just so freaking boring. Leak is great. So basically that's what I did. And then also, as I was getting ready for my boards, 6 months in advance already, anytime I talked to anybody, a friend, a past nurse practitioner, someone who took the exam, I paid attention, or I was in Facebook groups, paid attention to every topic that was ever posted by someone or told me, and I had like an ongoing log. And based on that log, I literally made myself a study guide of everything that anybody ever mentioned. If they told me pneumonia is on the exam, guess what? I put pneumonia on my sheet and I defined it and I knew it inside and out. Somebody told me asthma, I made sure I understood it, okay? Because I wasn't going to take this test more than once. So that's basically how I did it. And then just a couple of days before my exam, I did get together with a tutor, and she questioned me. She questioned me, and that really kind of like the video I sell, that kind of format. She questioned me, and that really gave me the confidence of what I need to really know and how much I actually do know from all that intense studying I've done. And it was pretty awesome. So that's why I created that video for you guys as well. And that's pretty much it. Let me just make sure I didn't forget anything. Oh, of course, I practiced for the non-clinical. I practiced questions as well after finishing again in Leak, FNP Mastery, and Board Vitals. Also, one last thing, I never took you guys take those exams to see where you stand. I never did that because I did not want it to screw with my head. I just basically made sure I understood the concepts and did it, system by system. And if I didn't, I would look into it again, like I said. The prostate exams, it sounded like I just did prostate exam. I just didn't want it to mess with my head. And when I truly knew I was ready is when I sat down and I started doing that test. That's when I'm like, okay, I know this. I got this. I took a long time to get through my exam. I read every single question twice. I did not want to make any small mistakes. I wanted to do this once and took my time, didn't pee, didn't do anything, just got through the exam. So you guys can do this. That doesn't necessarily mean my plan will work for you. It is really intense, but in my opinion, it's always better to be over-prepared and put into all that effort into it initially than having to, redo it again or something like that. Especially that I hear sometimes people miss it by a couple points, and it really, really breaks my heart. This is just an exam. It doesn't define who you are as an NP, as a nurse, or anything like that. So don't give up if you're that person, okay? All right, you guys know where to find me if you have any questions, and check out all my resources I have on my page to help you, okay? And when people tell you know something, like I tell you know things, know them, okay? There's a reason why people tell you this. All right, you guys have a good day. Thank you.